What's going on, guys? Roamer the Roamer. I'm here with Raiken Profit over at RaikenProfit.com. In this video, we're going to talk about how he has started doing OA, not the way that I'm doing it, in a little bit different of a way. He's doing eBay to Amazon flips. I think his ROI is probably definitely higher than mine.
A lot higher.
He's found a lot of interesting techniques to find these products, and I'm not sure how much you'll reveal about that, but in this video, we're going to talk about, his journey going into online arbitrage. This is he started this business this year. He's learned a lot about it, and so yeah.
Look, grind hard, well done, sir, and welcome to the freaking well show. And party central to my well ones. A night of violated hell codes. Dope sells like the charge do, but selling's all about potential.
Tell us a little bit about why you made this change starting out and how it's been. What is it, 4 months, 5 months in?
No, it's like closer to a year now, but
Okay,
I took it really slow, like the first 6 months, and did things like really I made a lot of mistakes, was extremely inefficient, failed to network as much as I should. And now I'm really stepping up my networking game because I was just doing things extremely inefficient. So the reason I started this, Avery, and again, thanks for having me on the channel, brother.
100%.
I started it because the thrift stores are just like getting so competitive, and it's just so time consuming nowadays for me, like running, different businesses. And, it's just, I don't want to be traveling the whole state of Connecticut where I live every single day to find inventory. It's just too time consuming. There's a lot more competition. The prices are going up at thrift stores. And as much as I love going garage sailing on the weekend and going to auctions and flea markets, and I still do that. Don't think I don't go to thrift stores and stuff. I just couldn't scale at the rate that I wanted to because I was just spending all my time trying to find the product. So that's why I started looking at different ways to find inventory. And, I grew up, over the last 8 or 9 years selling on eBay, and I know how many deals there are on eBay. I know how inefficient the markets are between eBay and Amazon. And what is the definition of a market inefficiency? It's arbitrage, right? I knew there was an arbitrage opportunity, and I flipped items over the last 4 or 5 years from eBay to Amazon. But for some reason, everyone always said, you can't build a business out of it. Like, go look on YouTube now. There's nothing about it. Facebook groups, it just doesn't exist. Nobody talks about it. It's really weird. And there are
it is weird. I know a few people doing it, but they're all not hush-hush necessarily, but I don't know. It doesn't blow up the content, at least Seth, I'm thinking of. He's new to content, but he's making bank off of it. He's doing well.
Yeah. Him and I are really good friends now. We're actually partnering up on, we're doing some coaching together, and he did over $500,000 in the last year, and he's doing between 50 to 70,000 a month right now.
Yeah. And his profit margins are probably pretty healthy too.
Yeah. They're quite a bit lower than mine just because I'm dealing with certain types of items, and he's dealing with really higher end items. His average buying price was $90 or something.
Wow. Which
was crazy. And mine's 15 to 20 ish. But yeah, there's not a lot of people talking about it. People used to always tell me you couldn't do it. And it was really odd because I've been doing it for years on a small scale. And I think a big reason why a lot of people say not to do it, and there's some legitimacy to this, is it's just a bit risky. And I always like to put this out there because I know there's probably going to be a day that comes where who knows, my account could get suspended or something. And I know you're always saying even with certain things in your business, it's like building a business on a volcano. And the reason I say that is because Amazon in general is just risky to sell on if you don't have direct wholesale invoices. And even if you do, there's wholesalers who get IP complaints, wholesalers who get suspended, kicked off. I almost feel like Amazon's almost like Russian roulette in a sense, where it's if that bullet is coming out of the chamber at you, I know, horrible example, but it's but my business model is a little more risky. Anyone who does eBay to Amazon, because we don't even have legitimate retail invoices. We have invoices if you're doing thrift stores, garage sales, flea markets, auctions, eBay to Amazon, any of that stuff. If Amazon calls you out on counterfeit or any of that stuff, I feel like you're in big trouble. But I don't hear many people talking about it, but the community as a whole is very against it. So I think that's why a lot of people don't do it as well. I'm curious your opinion.
Yeah, it just depends on I think used items, you're safe. Used textbooks, you're not safe. Textbooks, it just depends on the power of the brand. Pearson and the law firm they hired, they're ruthless. They're trying to get everybody kicked off. They'll eventually get me. I talk about it all the time, but I'll be in business for at least a we'll see. I say a couple years, maybe a week, maybe a couple years, who knows? But and that's one of my motives for doing OA was because the books that I sell specifically are being targeted by a law firm that does not want me to sell them. You know, I have been yet to find, like I'm going in the OA world, I have been yet to find another brand owner that is as ruthless as the textbook people. So everything's downhill from there, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like you look at the biggest sellers on Amazon and Declutter's up there, Discover Books, Thrift Books, they're all selling secondhand items.
Do they sell new or are they only used?
It's all used for the most part. So like you got a good point there. So like the new thing is a little sketch, but I don't know. I haven't heard any horror stories of like DVDs or CDs.
So I'll tell you one thing that I'm doing. And one of my friends called me out and like, was like, like that's probably not a big thing, but like, it makes me sleep at night. Cause I do a lot of DVDs. I do a lot of media. I don't mess with any DVDs less than 10,000 rank because in my mind, it's like the people who are bootlegging are going to be focusing on like the newer stuff. Like the people who are like the brands who we're trying to protect, I feel like are going to be the ones who have a lot to lose. Like I source so many DVDs that are like 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. And like, I have a vigorous process, like even buying a DVD, like I have so many different things that I look for to just give myself the best chance that it's real. Cause that's like my biggest fear is like selling a fake. And I know that I'm still going to just because they're so good, but like, I don't mess with anything less than 10,000 rank. It just, in my eyes, it's like, cause there's a lot of items like you could source on eBay. And I have a lot of friends who send me messages and I help them out with their business. They're like, should I buy this DVD? It's like $15 brand new on eBay and it's selling for 90 on Amazon. They have like 50 quantity. Like, no, like I don't buy from anyone who has multiple quantities on eBay. I don't buy from anybody who is selling anything that's less than 10,000. For me, you know how I am, man. Like I get too nervous about stuff like that. So I'd rather keep it safe and build like on a more like less risky terrain in my eyes.
I just had a great idea. Like this would be a great business opportunity. And if Amazon was willing to cooperate with whoever did it, but if they had like one prep center that always checked for authenticity of like every category. So like if you sent your items to this prep center, they would put like a stamp of authenticity and then Amazon would not bother you about it. Like they wouldn't audit your items or they wouldn't listen to anyone who put IP complaints out. That would probably never happen. But if you think about it, it'd actually be in Amazon's best interest, you know, to have like one filter for products. I mean, I think just networking with the community, like looking for people who have been through it before, looking for people who have gone through the IP complaints, like it's obvious. Like if other people have, like people say Yeti IP complaints, if enough people have been IP complained by Yeti, do you really think that you're not going to at scale?
I got my first IP complaint the other day and I made a dumb mistake. Like I could have avoided it. Nothing happened. My account's still healthy status and everything. But a big tip for everybody is avoid selling products where like there's only one seller and that one seller is the brand. Like for me, it's just not worth it because like they're going to go after you. Like there's a good chance. And if you want proof that they are or not, take a look at Keepa and take a look at the number of sellers. And if there's any like big drops, because typically they'll go after you like periodically, I find, just from my research, looking at Keepa, like they'll just sweep everybody
out. Well, there's
like,
that. And then there's also like they'll dominate the buy box if they, you know, if the brand usually dominates the buy box. So
that's interesting. How do you find that?
You go to buy box, go to Keepa, buy box statistics, and you can like zoom out to 30 days, 90 days, 180, and just see when they're on the listing, what % of the buy box are they getting?
Yeah, I just learned about that. You could actually dive into that and you could see the sellers that are on it and all that. It's very interesting. Keepa goes a lot deeper than people think. And that was actually one of my biggest mistakes. I know we have another video. We're going to talk about our biggest mistakes, but I'll share one of them. Just not learning enough about Keepa. I mean, especially if you're selling new items, you've got to live and die by Keepa. Keepa, I mean, over anything, over rank, over eScore, over whatever seller amp's telling you, like you got to look at those Keepa charts and know what's happening.
Yeah, 100%. Keepa is, I thought about making a Keepa course when I started OA. And then I realized I don't know anything about Keepa. Like I started like looking into it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this, like all these other tabs I would never pay attention to are so important.
Welcome to Udemy. Welcome to Udemy.
Right.
There's like 17 million courses from people who have no idea what they're doing, I feel like.
Right. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on, man. If you guys want to watch the video, 3 mistakes to avoid when starting OA with Steve in the context of eBay to Amazon flips, which I think there's a huge, huge potential there. Check out that video below. Also, if you guys want to stay in touch with sellers like Steve and other high-level sellers, make sure to go to roamer.biz. That's ROAMER. It should be linked below as well. That's my email list, and you'll get emails with Amazon tips, and I'll be doing exclusive Zoom calls. Once I get about 100 people on the list, we'll do a Zoom call all together, and I'll bring people on like Steve, Scott Needham, Caleb Roth, just a bunch of people, you know, and we'll just talk about OA, wholesale, books, different things like that. So make sure to sign up for that list. And yeah, appreciate you guys.
Thanks.
Peace.
I got money, you know.